Children. So ayah number inshallah 282. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا تداينتم بدين إلى أجل مسمى فاكتبوه وليكتب بينكم كاتب بالعدل ولا يأب كاتب أن يكتب كما علمه الله فليكتب وليملل الذي عليه الحق وليتق الله ربه ولا يبخس منه شيئا فإن كان الذي عليه الحق سفيها أو ضعيفا أو لا يستطيع أن يمل هو فليملل وليه بالعدل واستشهدوا شهيدين من رجالكم فإن لم يكونا رجلين فرجل وامرأتان مما ترضون من الشهداء أن تضل إحداهما فتذكر إحداهما الأخرى ولا يأبى الشهداء إذا ما دعوا ولا تسأموا أن تكتبوه صغيرا أو كبيرا إلى أجله ذلكم أقصد عند الله وأقوم للشهادة وأدنى ألا ترتابوا إلا أن تكون تجارة حاضية تديرونها بينكم فليس عليكم جناح ألا تكتبوها واشهدوا إذا تبايعتم ولا يضار كاتب ولا شهيد وإن تفعلوا فإنه فسوق بكم واتقوا الله ويعلمكم الله والله بكل شيء عليم وإن كنتم على سفر ولم تجدوا كاتبا فرهان مقبوضة فإن أمن بعضكم بعضا فليؤدي الذي اؤتمن أمانته وليتق الله ربه ولا تكتموا الشهادة ومن يكتمها فإنه آثم قلبه والله بما تعملون عليم صدق الله العظيم. 282. Ayah number 282. So, this ayah, first few things about this ayah. Number one is that this ayah is the longest, the lengthiest single ayah of the entire Quran. The lengthiest single ayah of the entire Quran. That's number one. Number two thing is that the topic of this lengthy ayah is one. The primary topic is one, and that is that when you take loan from someone, make sure that that loan with its all sharait, own condition is written, and then there should be two witnesses. That's the topic. Right. So, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us details about different scenarios. Third point to note is regarding this ayah that any possibility of bitterness between people, any possibility of any misunderstandings that could lead to fights, or at least it could lead to some bad feelings. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put that to an end. Allah stopped it. Allah, do not go that way. But do it this way. This way there will be no ill feelings among you. There will be no fights among you. For example, you took a loan, just verbal. Like, there's a person, an Arab brother, he called me the other day. An old Arab brother, I do not know him. He knows me, so old man, around 75 I guess. He came at Isha a few days ago with another Arab brother to meet me. I said, what is that? When he called me before coming, he said, Sheikh, do you know that certain brother? That certain brother is a Desi brother from India, Pakistan. I said, yes, I know him. Okay, will you be at Isha? I said, yes, I'm coming. Yeah. I'm thinking, Wallahi brother, this is mind-boggling. He came, he said that, do you know that certain brother? I said, yes, I know him. What happened? That brother had taken a total of $180,000 from me as loan. And he said, Sheikh, this happened before COVID-19. And I had many businesses. So for me, it was not a big deal. He will say, well, you give this, I'll give it back. So I said, I have running businesses, so I will give him cash. I said, so you don't have any checks? No. He said, because Sheikh, my business was all cash. Mashallah, he had many businesses. He said, I gave him cash, 180,000. He said, not at once, it took me nearly 2 years. He'll come to me at regular intervals. Now the brother whom he gave this money, he is a very, very, very religious person. Very religious. All the time Allah Rasul. And I know him for 15, 17 years. I said, brother, did you make any witness? He said, no. Okay, so now what happened? He said, I didn't care that much because I thought, okay, he will give me because his family is here and I can. He said, Sheikh, what happened was that my life took a nosedive turn in the COVID-19. One after another, each of my business closed. Now it has come to a point where I am unable to even pay my mortgage. So the bank has given me 2 months time. If I don't come up with the money, they are going to foreclose on my home. Now that person at nearly 11 at night, when everybody had left the masjid, he's sitting with me on that bench along with another brother, and he is old man crying. Humne ka, uncle, there's nothing I can do. I know this person, but I also know his other side, because he had tricked 1 or 2 other people. But when he comes to me and he pretends to be very religious, I also pretend that as if I do not know, because until you involve me, I have no point in getting involved in your business. I know what's going on because people told me. The same person 4 or 5 years came to me and he said that, Sheikh, if you have some money to invest, I can invest. I said, right. But this old person, so I called this brother. He was in India, Pakistan. I called that brother because I have his number. I called that brother. I said, 1 minute. I said, Assalamu alaikum wa assalam, where are you? I think by chance he picked up the phone. Because later on I came to know so many, and this old man is not the only person. The other people as well from me. So he picked up my phone thinking that Hamsa might have to talk some other topic. So he took pick up the phone. So I said, Assalamu alaikum wa assalam, how are you? And all that, mashallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, all the time. Too much. So I said, brother, I have this brother. Have you taken this much amount of money from him? Stuttering. I said, yes or no? Yes. Alhamdulillah, he accepted. I said, you have not paid him back and he is sitting here crying. Astaghfirullah, why did he come to you, Sheikh? I will give. I said, when? When I'll come to US. And then he said, Sheikh, I have to go somewhere. Tell that old man, that brother, I'm going to call him tonight. Don't worry, I'll call him. He said, hello, Sheikh, inshallah, I'll call. To that old person, I said, this is his number. In India, Pakistan, this is his number. Call him. Keep calling him at night. Keep calling him. After a week or so, that old man came to me again. And he said, I have called hundreds of times, he have never picked up. So I said, uncle, with all due respect to you, there is nothing I can do. What can I do? But I said, if you had followed this order of Allah, just have it written down. Okay, 10,000, here you go, write it down. 2 witnesses, khatam. And I mean, even then after that, if his intention is not to give, I mean, but to give $180,000 to somebody as loan, and this happens very often. One Dr. Saab gave many years ago, 12 years, 13 years ago, to another brother, $80,000 or $90,000 for business. That's like 12, 13 years ago. And this brother refused to give. So that Dr. Saab came to the masjid, but alhamdulillah he had cancelled checks. So I do not know what happened after that, whether he gave it. So the thing is that these things would create enmity, hatred, fights. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this long ayah to teach Muslims that when you give loan, write it down and have 2 persons as witnesses. Fifth point, which is I think the most important point among all the points, is regarding this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave all these details for what? Shafat bhai. Taking loan, right? Loan. But in the entire Quran, Allah did not explain those pillars of deen. Salat is not explained this way. Zakat is not explained this way. Fasting is not explained. Hajj is not explained. Although those 4 are the sutoon, pillars of deen. Pillars of deen. Allah have not explained the timing of salah, right, in this way. How many rakats? Allah did not explain. What are the makruhat, mustahabbat, wajibat, faraid in salah? Allah did not explain. Although praying salah is the most important thing in deen. Reason is that is ibadat and this is ma'amalat. Ibadat is important, and Rasulullah sallallahu will teach us, and he taught us what is salah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it comes to mu'amalat, Allah is there, no, mu'amalat I'm going to explain myself. I mean, we Muslims have turned deen upside down. Mu'amalat is no problem. Iski topi uska sir, uski topi uska sir, but Allah. Mu'amalat, no problem. But ibadat, no, ibadat. So there's no doubt ibadat is important. Fard, wajib, there's no doubt about it. But understand that mu'amalat are more important than ibadat. Because in ibadat you are dealing with human beings. In ibadat you are dealing only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to please Allah is easy. To please Allah is easy. But to seek forgiveness from human beings after I have wronged them, because some people have died, some people have moved away from Orlando, right? We do not know we have wronged them. Okay? Sometime if you are a leader of a country or an executive of a big company, you have wronged so many people. If you are the president of a country, prime minister, you have looted, plundered billions of dollars. And in your country, there are like 300 million human beings. So you took all that money, came to London. Even if Allah gives you tawfiq to do tawbah, how are you going to take tawbah or make tawbah to all those millions of people, because millions have already passed away since you did all that. And Rasulullah said, you will not enter to Jannah. You will not. Even a shaheed will not enter to Jannah. In one hadith, he said, if you get a life and you are killed as shaheed, then you get another life and you are killed as shaheed. Third time, still you will not enter into Jannah if you have people's money on you.
Handkerchief.
Even a handkerchief. Koi bhi. So, ma'amalat, Clarity in muamalat is much more serious issue than ibadat. इबादत तो ये है कि क्या हुआ है, अरे जो हबशी पर नाजिल हुई थी क्या, वआखरून अतरफू बिदुनूबिहिम खलतू अमलन सालिहा व आखरा सय्या असल्लाहु अन यतूब अलैहिम. On the day of judgment when you will come, Allah will look into your deeds. You have, for example, you have prayed some salah, you have skipped some. You have skipped some. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, okay, asallahu yatuba alayhi. Perhaps Allah will forgive you. At least you tried. You were trying to pray 5 times salah. Right? Allah khalatu, mixed record. Khalatu malab, it is a mixed record. Your salah record is not perfect. Right? You overslept, whatever you did. But you made tawbah, Allah says, I'll forgive. Then the final ayah in this regard is قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. You have done tremendous amount of sins. Tremendous amount of sins. Asrafu. Asumul bahut israf kiya. Too much israf. Israf means so much, sins you did. Don't worry, it's between you and me, Sunia. No third person is involved. You did not pray salah to me, but you are making tawbah. Yes, Allah, please forgive me. No problem. Because there's no third person involved. So that inna Allah yaghfiru dhunub. Or jami'a. And definitely Allah will forgive your sin, and Allah says, not 1, 2. Jami'a, all of them. Because there is no third person involved. It is only regarding ibadat, not mu'amalat. This ayah does not deal with mu'amalat, only ibadat. So, yes, we should be regular with salah. Yes, inshallah, we'll pray salah. We'll do hajj and fast and all that. But देखिए, mu'amalat is a much bigger problem. Because here, third person is involved. And that is the person whom we have wronged. Absolutely. So this is why this ayah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a detailed summary of how you should take loan and what are the points that you should remember when you are taking loan. So now look at the translation. It's a long ayah, so please pay attention so I don't miss anything. Bismillah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O those people who believe, idha tadayantum bidainin, when you take a loan among yourselves. Tadayantum meaning someone among you is taking a loan from someone. So ila ajalin musamman, and this loan is for a certain amount of time. Ajal means a stipulated time. Musamma means it is mentioned that 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, that's musamma. Now look at it. Faktubu, hukum, order. You must write it. Duration. No, you must write whatever the duration is agreed upon, whatever terms and conditions is agreed upon. Faktubu. No friendship. Hey, brother, you are my friend. No. The same friends are going to fight. Brothers fight.
Parents, children.
Yeah. Faktubu, write it down. وَلْيَكْتُبْ بَيْنَكُمْ كَاتِبٌ بِالْعَدْلِ. And I said, and a person who can write. Katib means person who can write well. You should hire him. Or if he wants to volunteer for it. But if he wants to charge money, Fuqaha have said that this ayah means that somebody say, okay, yes brother, but I'll charge. No problem, like accountant or CPA or lawyer, right? So he is Katib. Give him money. Bil adl, but make sure that the Katib is doing adl. Katib is not taking anybody's side. He is not going to one party that, you know what, I'm going to add this point, and this way, that guy would be in trouble if. No. Katib should not take anybody's side. Bil adl. وَلَا يَأْبَ كَاتِبٌ أَن يَكْتُبَ كَمَا عَلَّمَهُ اللَّهُ فَلْيَكْتُبْ. And a katib, he should not refuse this service. Ya'ba means to refuse, meaning nobody should say that, no brother, I don't want to write it. No, if you are a man of wisdom, you can write. It's the responsibility as a member of the community that these two brothers are going into a transaction, right? So yes, I can give you 5, 10, 15 minutes. I can write it down. Kama allamahu Allah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have taught that person, falyaktub, so he should write. Awwal yumlil alladhi al-'alil haqq. Look at the details. Who should make the conditions? Who should tell the katib who's writing the conditions of loan? It is the one who is taking the loan. The one who is taking the loan should do imla. Well, yumlil means imla. Imla means dictation. Yes, if the person who is giving the loan does not agree, that's fine. Then this transaction will not happen. But Allah is going in so much detail that the dictation of this agreement should be made by the one who is taking the loan. But yes, he should also وَلْيَتَّقِ. He should also fear Allah. Because fear of Allah is the basis. وَلْيَتَّقِ اللَّهِ وَلَا يَبْخَسْ مِنْهُ شَيْئًا. And he should not do anything wrong. Bakhasa yakhbasu means dandi marna. That you should not do anything wrong. Achha, ye to ab dekhiye. And look at the next point. Ye to ho gaya. The second point is that a person who is taking loan is a saghir child, an orphan child. A child who does not have parents, who lost his parents. For some reason, this child is left with no money, but this child is going to inherit. Right? Like here, when the parents die and they live behind it, IRS comes and says, well, inheritance, tax, this, that. So the children will get their share of money, but after the taxes are paid and this and that. So for 5, 6 months, whatever it takes, those children, yatim children, need money. So Allah is saying that the wali, the guardian, the closest male figure to the yatim, whether it's chacha, taya, uncle, whoever it is. Yeah, whatever it is. So then the wali should be representing those kids, number one. Number two is a person who is safi. Safi means foolish. Foolish means that he is taking loan, but he is so ignorant, right? That he cannot, he does not know what terms he is going into. Right? Yeah, back in India and Pakistan as well, Bangladesh, those villagers, Dehati people, this Hindu Mahajan, they will get they will get that thumb impression on anything. Now they are stuck. They are stuck for life. So Allah said, no. This is waliyuhu bil adl. The wali of this ignorant person, right? He should make sure that no injustice is done. So देखिए فإن كان الذي عليه الحق السفينة أو ضعيف أو لا يستطيع أن يمل هو فليملل وليه بالعدل. That if the person who is taking loan is safi, meaning foolish person. Here foolish means ignorant person. Or da'ifan, or that person is mentally very, very weak or physically weak, meaning that person is a child. وَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُ أَن يُمِلَّ, and this person also does not know what kind of condition should I mention in the loan agreement. لَا يَسْتَطِيعُ أَن يُمِلَّ هُوَ وَلِيُّهُ بِالْعَدْلِ. Now his wali, guardian, right? It's his job. He said, okay, beta, you come this way, let me see what's going on, right? And he is a man, a seasoned guy. He said, no, this should be the agreement. Meaning, look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making sure that after this agreement there is no misunderstandings, or nobody would take undue advantage of another person. So there is no haddas, there is no fights. Ab aaiye sahab, look at the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاسْتَشْهِدُوا شَهِيدَيْنِ مِنْ رِجَالِكُمْ. And after this dictation is done, the agreement is ready, both of the parties cannot sign it until there are two witnesses. So, وَاسْتَشْهِدُوا شَهِيدَيْنِ. Then make two men amongst you as witnesses. And now look here, مِنْ رِجَالِكُمْ, not nisaikum. Make two men as witness. فَإِن لَمْ يَكُونَا رَجُلَيْنِ, if there are no men, right? فَرَجُلٌ وَامْرَأَتَانِ. So then a man and two women. Man and two women. مِمَّنْ تَرْضَوْنَ مِنَ الشُّهَدَاءِ. Suniye, another condition. And these witnesses should be the one that you and the other party both agree upon. Both agree upon. Now you will say, Hafsab, on one hand you say that to Allah men and women are equal. Quran says, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Allah, in my eyes, men and women are equal. But why here Allah is saying one man and two women? One man and two women. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that these points will pop up in the mind of people. So Allah Himself gave the answer why I'm doing this. أَن تَضِلَّ إِحْدَاهُمَا فَتُذَكِّرَ إِحْدَاهُمَا الْأُخْرَى. Allah is saying because what happened is, if one woman or one girl among those two, right? If she becomes nervous, then the other woman will support her. For example, this phadda goes into the court. Now there is the jury there, people in the court, and this girl or woman is called in front of the whole courthouse full of people. One woman in front of all of these men, and the lawyers are like blasting her, right, with all kind of questions. So she will become nervous. So like saying, if there's another woman with her who has signed with her, so فَتُذَكِّرَ إِحْدَاهُمَا الْأُخْرَى. So she will provide support. So two women, they will support each other. Right? Why? Because you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator. Allah created men and women. And Allah knows that women are what? More emotional than men. Right? And they become nervous more easily than men, especially when the whole crowd is watching them. So it is for the betterment of women. Right? So here the issue is not of what is the rights of people. Allah said in the Quran, men and women are equal in my eyes. But it makes sense to have two women as witnesses as compared to one man.
If one man also not available, then four women can be witnessed.
Not in this. Not in this.
And what about the man gets nervous, then what happens? One man gets nervous.
There could be exceptions everywhere. That's not, but rules are not made on exceptions. And there could be some men who are very nervous. Yeah. But those are exceptions. وَلَا يَأْبَ الشُّهَدَاءُ إِذَا مَادُرُوا. And second, then another point, in case of dispute, shuhada, the witnesses cannot, or they do not have rights to refuse. They cannot say that I'm not going to the courthouse, I just signed it, please brother leave me alone. You guys are fighting, no. You signed it, it's just brother that when you get called for the jury duty, you are called for the jury duty, you have to go. If you say no, this is contempt of court. Right? You will be penalized. Right? So here Allah is saying, وَلَا يَأْبَ الشُّهَدَاءُ. Shuhada cannot refuse. Witnesses cannot refuse. إِذَا مَادُرُوا, when they are called upon to testify. Acha dekhiye, look, وَلَا تَسْأَمُوا أَن تَكْتُبُوهُ صَغِيرًا أَوْ كَبِيرًا إِلَىٰ أَجَلِهِ. Allah said, you must not show laziness towards writing the contract. Whether the transaction is of small amount or big amount, صغيرا أو كبيرا. Whether it's $50, let's say, or $50,000. Right? صغيرا أو كبيرا. Write it down. Two witnesses. إلى أجل. ذَلِكُمْ أَقْسَطُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. This is the right way of doing it. Aqsat means this is the right way, the most just way of doing such transactions. وَأَقْوَمُ لِلشَّهَادَةِ. And this is the correct way, you would say. وَأَدْنَا أَلَّا تَرْتَابُوا. And this is the closest way of protecting everybody. Tartabu means so that there is no confusion. Illa an takuna tijaratan hadiyatan tudirunaha bainakum. Allah said yes. Illa, but if you are dealing in cash, like tijaratan hadira, meaning tijara hadira means a regular way of doing tijara, that I went to your shop, I paid money, you gave me the merchandise, I came home. So Allah said tijaratan hadira. This is tijara which does not need any writing down. You paid the money, you are given what you had bought for, grocery or whatever it is. Allah said, that's the hadra. Tudirunaha bainakum, and this happens all the time. Whenever people are living, they do business among themselves. But because there's no loan involved here. Everything is cash. So فَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَلَّا تَكْتُبُوهَا. So there is no harm. There is no harm, right? That you write it. وَأَشْهِدُوا إِذَا تَبَايَعْتُمْ. And whenever you make any tabaya, any deal, right? Deal for future. Any deal, write it down. وَلَا يُضَارَ كَاتِمٌ وَلَا شَهِيدٌ. And in many countries it happens that the witnesses are either killed, kidnapped, or threatened. Let's say, make sure that the katib and the shaheed and the witness are not harmed in any way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking care of every aspect of the case. So wala yudara, dara means to hurt someone. So make sure the katib and the shaheed right? The one who wrote the contract and the one who are the witnesses, they are not harmed or threatened in any way. وَإِن تَفْعَلُوا فَإِنَّهُ فُسُوقٌ بِكُمْ. If you will do this, mean if you threaten the katib or the shaheed, then this is a fusuq. This is an act of fisk, a very, very big sin that you have done. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. Fear Allah. وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching you how to live. وَيُعَلِّمُكُمُ اللَّهِ. Allah is teaching you how you should live in this world. وَاللَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything. Now, the second and the last ayah regarding this, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ عَلَىٰ ذِكِرَ وَإِن كُنْتُمْ عَلَىٰ سَفَرٍ. Subhanallah. Allah is giving another scenario. If you are on a journey, in those days especially, if you are going through desert or something, you lost stuff, you are in need of money. Strange places, it's not your city, you need money. Now what to do? You don't have cash. Then no problem. If somebody is willing to lend you money, right? And in that city, you are not finding any katib either. No katib there. So, farihanun maqbuda. Put pawn. Something expensive. I have this watch. Can you please take it as rahan, as collateral? If I don't come back in 30 days, it's yours. Right? But
what Americans do, they go to Vegas, they have a Rolex watch, they pawn it and get the money to come out from that one.
So here, that's فَإِنْ أَمِنَ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا فَلْيُؤَدِّ الَّذِي اؤْتُمِنَ أَمَانَتَهُ. So أَمِنَ بَعْضُكُمْ. If you trust each other's, Amina means to trust, Bhagavan. So then the person who is entrusted with the amana, meaning I gave you the watch, right? I trusted you that when I'll come back, you will give it to me when I'll pay you the money back. So let's say, وَلْيَتَّقِ اللَّهِ فَلْيُؤَدِّ الَّذِي. You should give this hand back to him. If you are Iman, if you are Sahib al-Iman. And وَلْيَتَّقِ اللَّهَ رَبَّهِ. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't take anybody or do not take advantage of somebody's situation.
Yeah,
इसमें इस्लाम में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. वला तक्तुमु शहादा. सुनिए, this is a big sin. Do not hide shahada. Meaning, if you have seen something, then speak about it. Don't say, "Humne today." No, I did not see. And you have seen it. You have seen that incident, right? But because you don't want to get into trouble with, you don't want to go to the court and help somebody, you say, no. The police said, "Have you seen that?" No. I was somewhere. I did not see it. Right? وَلَا تَكْتُمُ الشَّهَادَةَ وَمَنْ يَكْتُمْهَا. And a person who will refuse to give testimony. गवाही से इनकार कर दिया आपने. I said no. فَإِنَّهُ آثِمٌ قَلْبُهُ. Then his heart is at sin. His heart is a sin, meaning this person had done tremendous amount of sin. Because of his refusal to testify, that person could be, somebody could be in trouble. Wallahu bikulli shay'in, wallahu ma ta'malun alim. And whatever you see Allah, you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching over it. So,
يتق الله كان سيدا रब्बा इसका मतलब ये अल्लाह ताला कह रहा है उस रब से करो जो तुम्हारा प्रोवाइडर है वो प्रोवाइडर करता तुम्हारे पास में
अच्छी होगी
हमारे जब तक किला ठीक
जी रब्बहु जी बिल्कुल सही फरमाया नाज़िर भाई saying when yattaqillaha rabbahu, right, the word Allah was good enough, but after that rabbahu, Allah is your Rabb. So Allah wants to remind you again that it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone who is providing. Dear brother, 5 or 6 minutes more before we take a break for chai. Somebody mentioned about the last khutbah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just few points about from this, because from Maghrib Yawm al-Arafah starts. So I think it is the right time to go over the sermon of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam delivered 1400 and some 40 years ago.
Yeah.
This khutbah is as fresh as it was like when Rasulullah delivered. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam delivered this khutbah on the 9th of Zul Hijjah on the Mount of Arafat. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam first prayed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then Rasulullah said that we seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the evils of ourselves and from the evil consequences of our deeds. And then Rasulullah took Shahada, La ilaha illallah, that there is no God but Allah who causes us to live and who causes us to die. Okay. And then Rasulullah said, "O people," see brother, here's the point. "O people, lend me an attentive ear, for I do not know whether after this year I shall ever be amongst you again." So that was a clear message that's it, I'm leaving. Because a few days ago, إِذَا جَاءَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ was revealed, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that's prepared. So Rasulullah gave them, therefore listen to what I'm saying to you carefully and take these words to those who were not present here. And then Rasulullah said, O people, regard this month as sacred, this city as sacred. And then Rasulullah said that as this place is sacred, so regard the life and property of every Muslim as sacred, as a sacred trust. Meaning when we consider haram as sacred, then the life of every Muslim is sacred as well. Return the goods entrusted to you to the rightful owners. If you have taken something, we give it back to their owners. Hurt no one. Suniya, khutbah. Hurt no one, so that no one may hurt you. No one, chahe wo kafir ho, Yahudi, Isai, Hindu, even animals. Do not hurt no one, so that no one may hurt you. Remember that you will indeed meet your Rabb, and He will indeed reckon your deeds. Okay? Now comes that. Now Rasulullah made usury interest haram. Allah has forbidden you to take usury interest. The hurmat of interest is mentioned in the last khutbah. This is how important it is for you and me to understand that usury is something very heinous in the eyes of Allah. Therefore, all interest obligations shall henceforth be waived. Khatam, Tawbah. Beware of shaitan for your safety of your religion. He has lost all hope that he will ever be able to lead you to astray in big things. But beware of following him in small things. Suniya, ab dekhiye last khutbah and the rights of women. And the rights of women. Rasulullah mentioned the rights of women in the last sermon. And that is, O people, it is true that you have certain rights with regard to your woman. But they also have rights over you. No world leader had ever said this before Rasulullah. Right? If they abide by a right, then to them belong the right to be fed and clothed in kindness. Do treat your women well and be kind to them, for they are your partners. They are your partners and committed helpers. And it is your right that they do not make friends with anyone of whom you do not approve, as well as never commit adultery. Rights of women in the Khutbatul Wida. O people, listen to me in earnest. Worship Allah. Say your 5 daily prayers, Salah. Fast during the month of Ramadan and give your wealth in zakat. Perform Hajj if you can afford to. Ab suniye sahab. You know that every Muslim is the brother of another Muslim. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black has any superiority over a white. 1440 years ago. No racism in Islam, except by piety and good actions. Learn that every Muslim is a brother to every Muslim, and that the Muslim constitute one brotherhood. Nothing shall be legitimate to a Muslim that belongs to a fellow Muslim unless it was given freely and willingly. Do not therefore do injustice to yourself. Remember, one day you will meet Allah and answer your deeds. So beware. Do not stray from the path of righteousness after I am gone. So the last paragraph, the Rasulullah said, O people, suniya bhai, O people, no prophet, no messenger will come after me, and no new faith will be born. Khatim al-Nabiyyin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Reason well, therefore, O people, and understand my words that I convey to you. Absolutely, I leave behind 2 things. I leave behind 2 things: the Quran and my example, the Sunnah. And if you follow them, you will never go astray. And then all those who listen to me shall pass on my words to others, and those to the others again. And may the last one understand my words better than those who listen to me directly. Meaning these Sahaba, you are listening to me directly, but convey my word. You'll find other people who will understand me better than what you are understanding me. Dawah. And then Rasulullah said, be my witness, O Allah. Allahumma shahad. Allah, be my witness that I have conveyed your message to the people. This is the khutbah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For the barakah of the day, I read it so that we can feel some barakah of the words of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dua فرمانے سبحان اللہ وبحمدہ سبحان اللہ وبحمدہ نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب الیک. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our sitting here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us strong Muslims, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from kufr and fisk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us strong iman, give us life upon iman, and when we die, give us death upon iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these blessed days and nights of Dhul Hijjah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our acts of ibadat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive the entire ummah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin.